9 years ago, I met the woman I thought was my soulmate. She was everything I ever wanted: loyal, simple, and devoted to our family. We built what looked like the perfect life. Until one unexpected morning, a single sentence from her shattered everything, and what followed was a betrayal so deep, I nearly lost myself. But that's not where the story ends, it's where it begins. Welcome to Infidelity Truths. Before we dive into today's gripping story, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more thrilling stories just for you. Let's begin. About 9 years ago, something unexpected happened during one of my regular lunch breaks. I accidentally bumped into a woman who would eventually become my wife. Her name was Ada. Right from that moment, Ada stood out. She had this simple, down to earth charm, and there was a quiet strength in her. No drama, no pretense, just a kind hearted girl from a small town who didn't drink or smoke. For someone like me, it felt like I had struck gold. Our relationship progressed quickly. We clicked on a level that made everything feel natural and easy. Within just 6 months, we tied the knot. It was a modest wedding, only her parents and a single friend attended. I found it a little odd at the time, but when she said she only wanted to share that moment with people she genuinely trusted, I respected that and went along with it. After the wedding, everything seemed perfect. Ada never invaded my space, never asked too many questions. She just focused on making our home a place of peace. When I came home stressed, she was there, not with complaints or nagging, but with calm, care, and unwavering support. Honestly, it felt like we had built the dream life. We had a son together. He's 5 now. After her maternity leave, she decided not to go back to work and instead devoted herself entirely to raising our boy. She was all in, taking him to school, organizing activities, preparing amazing meals, and always making sure the house felt like a home. And the craziest part? She never let herself go. Even while juggling parenting and responsibilities, she still looked radiant, graceful, confident. Her world revolved around our family, her parents, and that one close friend. Then one morning over breakfast, she hit me with something totally out of left field. "In 3 days, I'm leaving," she said calmly. "There's a school reunion. I've decided to go." I blinked, caught completely off guard. "Wait, what? You've never even mentioned your school friends before." She just shrugged. "I haven't talked about it, but I've made my decision. What's the big deal?" I didn't want to come off as controlling. No, it's not a big deal, just surprising." She gave me this look and said, "After all these years, I think I deserve to do something for myself. Don't you agree?" I nodded. "Of course, go. Enjoy." And honestly, she was right. Everyone needs a break now and then. Plus, she said our son would stay with her parents during the trip, so there was no issue with responsibilities. But something about it still felt off. The reunion came and went. The next day, I couldn't reach her. No replies, no calls. I even tried her parents, nothing. My stomach started to twist. Finally, 2 days later, I got a call that shattered everything. The woman on the other end introduced herself as the wife of Ada's former classmate. She was in tears, said Ada had wrecked her marriage. She begged me to come get my wife before the whole town got wind of the scandal. I didn't hesitate. Got the address and drove like a madman. When I arrived and stormed in, Ada was there, alone. And when she saw me, she just broke down crying. She begged for forgiveness, swore she didn't mean to hurt me, but I was done. Furious, I grabbed her phone and went through everything: texts, photos, messages, and it was all there. Months of secret conversations with this man. And trust me, they weren't talking about old school memories. That moment broke me. I went straight to her parents' house, picked up my son, and told them the truth. They begged me not to react. "Think about our reputation," they said. "Gossip will ruin us." But I didn't care about their image. What mattered to me was protecting my son and my own dignity. We divorced. I got custody. The first few months were brutal, full of anger, confusion, and heartbreak. But little by little, things started to shift. My son and I built a routine. We laughed more, we connected deeper, and somehow we found peace. As for Ada, She's still stuck in that same toxic relationship, living with her parents, barely stepping outside, seeing our son only once in a while. She's tried to come back, sent messages, apologies, promises, but betrayal is where I draw the line. I'm not the type to look the other way when someone makes a fool of me. So, yeah, what I thought was a perfect family life turned out to be a castle built on sand. Just like that, it all came crashing down. It's crazy how one person's choices can shatter everything, isn't it? It's been over a year since I walked out of Ada's life for good. Since then, I've rebuilt everything she tried to tear down, starting with myself. At first, I was just going through the motions. Wake up, take care of my son, go to work, come back, repeat. But little by little, something shifted. I started seeing myself not as a man who had been betrayed, but as a father who had everything to live for. My son, Junior, became my whole world. We developed this quiet bond. He started asking deeper questions, drawing closer. Sometimes he'd look at me and ask, "Daddy, why doesn't mommy live with us?" And every single time, I'd swallow the lump in my throat and say, "Mommy just made some bad choices, buddy, but I'll always be here for you." And I meant it. One evening, just as I was getting the dishes done, I heard a knock at the door. I wasn't expecting anyone. When I opened it, my heart skipped, but not from love, from rage, from confusion, from 1,000 memories crashing at once. It was Ada. She looked different. Not physically, she was still polished, hair neat, makeup subtle, but there was something broken in her eyes. A woman who had seen what she lost and finally realized the price. "Can I come in?" she asked softly. I didn't say a word, just stood there waiting. "I miss you. I miss us. I've made mistakes, terrible ones, but I still love you." I stepped outside and closed the door behind me. "Number, you don't miss us. You miss the comfort, the peace, the home I built. You miss being loved without judgment. You miss the man who used to trust you with his life. That man? He's gone." Tears welled up in her eyes. She tried to reach for my hand, but I stepped back. "You broke me, Ada. You crushed everything we had with your lies. You didn't just cheat on me, you cheated on our son, on our future. And now you think you can waltz back in because life outside didn't turn out the way you imagined?" She fell to her knees right there on the porch, sobbing. "Please, I'm lost. That man, he left me. He used me and threw me away. I've got nothing." I stayed silent for a moment, then said, "You had everything, and you gave it away. I won't hate you forever, Ada. I've forgiven you. For me. But I'll never take you back." She begged to at least see Junior more often. I agreed, but on my terms. Supervised, no confusion, no mixed messages, and that's how it's been since. She sees him now and then, but he's starting to notice. He knows who shows up when it matters. Today, I'm stronger, wiser, not bitter, just aware. And I've even started opening my heart again. There's someone I've been talking to, not rushing anything, just seeing where it goes. She knows my story. She respects my past. And she respects my son. Sometimes pain is the fire that forges the strongest steel. So if you've ever been broken by love, remember this. Sometimes what breaks you is exactly what builds you back up stronger. Life was finally starting to feel normal again. After everything that happened with Ada, I had promised myself never to rush into love. But then I met Amaka. She wasn't flashy or overly charming, just real. The kind of real that makes you stop questioning everything. We met through a mutual friend. At first, it was just conversations, shared laughs, and coffee on weekends. But she had this calm energy, like a lighthouse in the middle of my storm. Most importantly, she respected my boundaries. Never pushed, never pried. She was patient, with me, with my son, with the healing process. Junior adored her. He called her Auntie Maka and would light up whenever she came around. She never tried to take Ada's place, just showed up consistently with kindness, patience, and love. But, as expected, Ada noticed. It started with the texts. "Ada, so you've replaced me already?" Me. I'm not having this conversation. Ada. You let her around our son? Do you even care how that looks? I ignored most of it until she showed up, uninvited, at my house. She stood there on the porch, her eyes filled with something between desperation and fury. You're parading another woman around our son? No, I replied calmly. I'm showing him that love can still be safe. That didn't sit well with her. Her voice cracked as she said, You think she loves him more than I do? I looked her dead in the eyes. She's never lied to him. She's never abandoned him. So no, maybe she doesn't love him more, but she loves him better. That broke her. Ada started coming to Junior's school more often, trying to be the fun, involved mom, dropping off snacks, volunteering for parent days. But the teachers noticed something. Her behavior was erratic, overwhelming, like she was trying too hard to rewrite the past in one day. One afternoon, the school called me. Ada had picked up Junior without informing anyone. No prior agreement, no warning. Panic set in. I called her phone, no answer. Called again, nothing. Finally, after nearly 2 hours, she brought him back. When I confronted her, she just said, I needed to feel like a mother again. That was the last straw. I went back to court and filed for a formal revision of her visitation rights. From that moment on, everything would go through a mediator. It wasn't about revenge, it was about safety, stability, protecting my son from confusion and emotional whiplash. Ada cried, begged, accused me of turning him against her, but the truth is, children know who shows up. And while she spiraled, Amaka stayed grounded, supportive, unshaken. She never told me what to do. She just stood beside me and let me figure it out, with her by my side. One night, I was tucking Junior into bed when he said, Daddy, Auntie Macaw makes you smile more than Mommy ever did. That one sentence hit harder than 1,000 arguments. Maybe we don't choose how people hurt us, but we do choose how we heal. And this time, I'm choosing peace. Ada still tries now and then, texts, guilt trips, memories, but I don't respond, not out of anger, but because some doors are better left closed. Just when I thought Ada had finally accepted reality, she flipped the script. It started with a letter, a thick brown envelope delivered to my office. I opened it and there it was, a legal notice. Ada was filing for joint custody. I sat there frozen. Not because I was afraid of losing my son, but because I couldn't believe her audacity. This woman who left us, lied, cheated, disappeared, who hadn't held steady visitation in months, now wanted to stand in court and claim she deserved equal rights? I called my lawyer immediately. He reviewed the papers and said, She's trying to build a case. You need to prepare. So I did. For weeks, I gathered everything. Screenshots of her erratic texts, school reports showing missed appointments, records of her no-shows and last-minute changes. I even included the day she took Junior from school without informing anyone. It wasn't just about proving she was unfit. It was about protecting my son from instability. Amaka was there every step of the way, quietly supporting. She never spoke badly about Ada in front of Junior, but I could tell it scared her too. The idea that someone so careless could legally force her way back into our lives. Then came the court day. Ada showed up looking like a different woman. Sober, serious, all put together like she was auditioning for sainthood. She even brought a counselor's report stating she was attending therapy and trying to rebuild her life. The judge looked between us and said, This is about what's best for the child, not about which parent made mistakes in the past. I held my breath. Then Ada's lawyer stood up and said something that turned my blood cold. Your Honor, we believe the presence of an unfamiliar woman, referred to as Amaka, around the child, without a stable family structure, poses emotional confusion. We're asking for a court order restricting contact until further review. What? She wasn't just trying to take my son. She was trying to erase Amaka too. My lawyer objected immediately, reminding the court that Amaka had never overstepped, never made any decisions regarding Junior, and had only been a positive influence. When I was called to speak, I told the truth. Your Honor, I'm not a perfect man. but I've shown up for my son every single day. Amaka isn't a replacement, she's a support. Ada didn't just break our home, she walked away from it. And now that it's healing, she's trying to tear it apart again. There was a long pause. Then the judge said something I'll never forget. Children don't need perfect parents, they need consistent ones. In the end, the court granted supervised visitation for Ada, but full custody remained with me. The judge also ruled that Amaka could continue to be present, as long as it was in the best interest of the child, and trust me, it was. Ada stormed out of court, tears in her eyes. Not because she lost, but because she finally realized she couldn't control the narrative anymore. Since then, she's pulled back. Maybe she's finally starting to understand that love isn't proven in courtrooms. It's proven in the everyday moments. The bedtime stories, the school runs, the quiet support. And Amaka? She's still by my side. And now I'm starting to think, maybe this story isn't just about betrayal and heartbreak. Maybe it's also about second chances, the real kind. It's been 2 years now. 2 years since the morning my entire world collapsed. 2 years since I held my son close and swore I'd never let anyone break him, or me, ever again. And today, I can finally say this. I found peace. Not the loud, triumphant kind, but the quiet kind that sneaks in after months of doing the right thing, even when it was hard, of waking up early, packing school lunches, holding back angry words, and choosing growth over bitterness. Ada? She eventually stopped trying. I think somewhere deep down, she realized the battle wasn't about me or even Junior. It was about a void inside her that she kept trying to fill with attention, drama, and control. And sadly, that's a war only she can fight. She still sees Junior, but on limited terms. He's older now, wiser than his years. He asks questions, and I answer them with honesty and love, but never with hate. And then there's Amaka, the woman who walked into my life without trying to fix me, who loved my son, not because she had to, but because she wanted to. The one who proved that true love isn't loud, it's consistent. Last week, on a quiet evening after dinner, I pulled out a small box I'd been holding onto for months. I knelt down and said, "You walked into my life at its worst, and stayed until it got better. Will you build the rest of it with me?" She cried. I cried. Junior jumped up and yelled, "Are we getting married?" We are. It's not a fairy tale ending. It's real life. Messy, painful, unpredictable, but full of second chances. I used to think betrayal was the worst thing that could happen to a man. But now I realize sometimes it's the storm that clears the path to everything you truly deserve. So, to everyone who's been following this story, to every man or woman who's been broken and doubted their worth, you're not alone, and you're not finished. Keep building, keep believing. Peace is waiting. If this story touched you, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit that bell icon. Thank you for walking through this journey with me. Until next time, stay strong. Moral lesson of this story. Sometimes the people we love the most can hurt us the deepest, but betrayal is not the end of your story. It can be the beginning of your growth. True strength is shown not in how hard you fall, but in how you rise after the fall. Love should never come with lies, manipulation, or disrespect. And when you finally find someone who respects your pain, values your peace, and stands by you without conditions, hold on to that. Above all, protect your peace. Put your child first and never settle for anything less than honesty and emotional safety.